Ogunranti Adeboye Moses is an entrepreneur and supporter of innovation. He co-founded a logistic platform, invests in startup through a VC firm, and is active in startup communities. He has a background in physics, entrepreneurship, and business development. Please make welcome Ogunranti Moses.
I believe we'll be able to, thank you very much. This is where I wanted it. We'll be able to work with the sound. And then, number one, I know that I was supposed to be here very early. I had made my itinerary and then planned to be here as early as 10:45. But apparently, a lot of technical challenges also came up. My first ride would not come out. And the second one, we could barely get it down here. All right. So my name is Moses. What that then means now is that we have enough time, we have enough time to define how Africa is going to be, how you will be number one, how Ondo will be, and then how Nigeria will be. Then finally, how Africa, will be in the global games. Now, but the very secret of how we will be and what will happen to us is in how much of you and how much you become. That's why my slide is actually titled, becoming the next African or the new African. Then part of it is entrepreneurship. Okay, today, my company is worth $3 million, but I remember that 3 years back, we can't say it was worth anything. Okay, but one of the beautiful things about how much it is worth is that value of what the company is worth now, is how much we can sell the company for now, and that we can make it to our own pocket. Do you understand that? That there was a time that all of my revenue was just 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira, or all of my income was just a little above 100,000 or a million per annum. That there was a time like that time don't exist. The proof that process exists. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Good. Now, the very base of what we are able to make Africa become in the next 10, 20, 40, 50 years lies in number one, second is entrepreneurship. The psychology of entrepreneurship itself, the philosophy behind it, the mentality of entrepreneurship. $1 million. Let me get you right on something. I've kind of like seen an audience before that found it hard to pronounce $1 billion. Can you tell me that you are not that audience? Can you try and pronounce $1 billion? Try. Not million, $1 billion. Good. Because the moment you can pronounce it, it ingrains within your system. I'm from Ibadan. And if you know us very well, we like our native tongue so much. Do you understand? But it cannot limit how big I must become, how great I must become. So must it be for you. But between where you are right now and where you want to go to, there is a whole lot of work. And one of the things that makes short that work is entrepreneurship. Look at this entrepreneurship here. The very basic meaning of it is a process of setting up businesses for value. Okay? Very basic meaning. But let me give you another definition around it. When you are able to turn anything into gold, into money, that's entrepreneurship. Anything. That means if you give me a paper right now, just a sheet of paper, I can make money selling a sheet of paper to everybody here and still become the richest man in your country. As a matter of fact, one of the richest persons in Asia sells nylon, polythene. And then one of the richest persons in Nigeria, in Africa, sells salt. Do you understand? Of the richest persons in Europe, in the US, they sell technology, they sell ideas. Good ideas can get you anywhere. Get this right. But good ideas that solve a problem. Hello, are you with me? Now, good. Because after this, I want you to be so good that you're never poor a day again. You never go hungry except you want to fast. Or you want to personally, subscribe to what we call voluntary poverty. How many of you know about voluntary poverty here? Yes, there's something called voluntary poverty. That's the extent where you are rich enough to choose that you want to live poor. Okay? I want you to write it down and circle it somewhere in your book. Voluntary poverty, and go read about it. It was named after Lucius Cincinnatus, a man for which they named Cincinnati in the US after him. Now, why am I saying all of this? Let me tell you something. You can be in your university here and spend 4 or 5 years thinking, deceiving yourself as you are deceiving your parents that you're studying, because at the very end, we all know that your study is not going to get you a good job, not here in Nigeria, not here in Africa, not in next 10 years. Are you getting that right? Because if you're really going to get a good job, you're going to do more than you are doing right here. And that more is in the knowledge you can acquire, how much of becoming you can become. It's beyond the school books. As a matter of fact, most of your school books are teaching you historical records of what is written there. Meanwhile, right now in the world, we're not using what was written in 1956 again now. Get this right, because you can just play the normal game of Naso in B, Naso I B. Okay, let's just manage. So now only you come to this world, something like that. You can play that normal game and you will play it for 50 years and you'll be rich and wretched and poor and buried in an average grave. But your life should be more than that. Do you agree? Good. Do you agree? You are bigger and better. By December, you should be able to drive down to your house and teach them how to become great, not how to buy a car. Because cars, jets, when it's time and you need it, as I am this morning now, I woke up around, I like to be at my event very, very early. I'm not a late comer, because we always say something. Early is late. Late is completely unacceptable. Late, completely unacceptable. And there's something called African time. It is not our time. I don't know who gave us that. We come early and on time. I got up as early as 6. I had prepared my small car ahead of today, only for flat tire. Please remove the tire, and then the nuts wouldn't come off. But immediately that happened, I told my guys, I said, the other big one that we didn't want to carry before, bring it out, let's take that one. We got down the road, half the road, and there was brake pad failure and all of that. We had to go all the way back. At a point, I'm thinking that the witchcraft in your city is so big that it does not want you to hear what I want to say. Honestly. But I'm here and I'm bigger than them. Good. Now, consistent exchange of value. Get this right. The bigger the number of persons you can give value to, the bigger you can become. Do you understand? I run Traveler. It's an application, and then it allows you to be able to make money when you are traveling by picking package for somebody else. Do you understand? Anytime you want to travel and you're looking for free payment for your bus, pick a package on Traveler and you make money. But let me tell you something. The extent to how much I can become great and mighty and valued in that because of that company will be dependent on the extent of the number of persons I can serve. That means one day I must have 1 million customers on Traveler. Same thing is applicable to you. Let me tell you something. Any one of you running entrepreneurship here, get this very right. If you don't have 1,000 customers, you have not started. Whether career line or business, unless you have 1,000 minimum customers that you know their name, you have their details, their demography, their geography. Unless you have that number and you have those details, you cannot become exceedingly great. Because 1,000 of 200 million people population in Nigeria alone is less than 0.00 0.01%. Do you know 200 million persons, if they are paying you 1,000 naira in a month, multiplied by 12 months, do you know how much that is? That's a whole lot. Or let's say they even pay you 5 naira in 200 million places. Can you multiply that? That's a billion. Now let me tell you that the degree to how massive you can become will depend on how many persons you can serve. Okay? And that is the very basics of entrepreneurship, the exchange of value for money, for a profit. See, don't ever in your life play down on money. Oh, how do they say this thing? The money is the root of all evil. Calm down. Calm your nerves down. No, that was not what he was trying to say. Get the details very well. The love of money, not money. The love of it is the root of all evil, not money in itself. So don't demonize money, because your father has not made a million naira in his entire lifetime, and you have, sorry, I said your father have not made 100 million in their entire lifetime. You were born in abject poverty, which is normal, but please try out riches. I've always said this. I said you don't have a choice until you have knowledge. Hello? You don't have a choice until you have knowledge. I want you to be able to get to a point in your life you're so rich that you can choose to live poor. That was why I mentioned voluntary poverty before. But right now, you can barely even choose to be rich, because by your nature, naturally, you were born into abject poverty. So what choice do you have yet? So what you have to do now is create another choice for yourself, which will be riches. Now, and that is completely built on knowledge acquisition and work. You have to be able to work as much as possible. The same way I'm telling you that, oh, in 10 years' time, I'll need a jet. Why is that? Because as I'm here by 3 p.m. to speak, I will need to be in Lagos by 9 p.m. to speak. If I drive, 5 hours cannot be enough. So the best thing is to get back to Akure City, get my jet, and be in Lagos. And from there to South Africa. Do you understand why that need then comes up? Unless there is a need for something, great people that have value don't buy it. Because when you buy things that you really need, it's going to bring more money for you. Hello, somebody? Yes. Now, I wanted to show you, see, there's a whole lot I would have loved to show you, because it's much, it's big. That's why I said the best thing you can do is jot down everything that I said. Just try and jot it down and go back home to read. If you don't read, you will never benefit from this. But what I said, you will never forget it. Do you understand? Now, I said entrepreneurship as an ideology. You have to have that ideology in your head. The table you serve determines what kind of value comes back to you. If you serve Tony Elumelu, you are going to make the kind of money people that work with him make. If you serve Dangote, you are going to make the kind of money that people that work with him make. If you serve a shoemaker in your neighborhood, you are going to get shoes and spoiled ones or repaired ones. Do you understand? The kind of table you are able to serve determines how much value comes back to you. Hello, somebody? Now, that means that if you really want good money, you have to serve big persons. But big persons start from small things, small persons. You know, serve people around you first. Sell something to your roommates, to your dorm mates. Sell something small first, but grow the value fast. It takes 5 years to build a company to stoop down. It takes 10 years to make it stand a little bit. 40 years to make it unforgettable. Do you understand? So if you calculate those 5, 10 years, 40 years, and those years come very fast. Today you are 35 years old. Yesterday you were just 25. Time flies. And unless you do the right things, you're going to waste it. Hello, somebody? Now, I'm teaching you how in that 5 years time from now, you look back and you'll be so happy at where you are. Because I look back 5 years now, I'm here now, I'm glad where I am, and it's the beginning of mightier things. Do we agree? Now, there's something called the ABC of entrepreneurship. It was shared 2 days ago by Mayan Ogunranti. She's the lead at Ingressive Capital. Anytime you are looking for capital, and you have done your due diligence very well, you can apply. They can give you as much as $10 million. Why are we using dollars? Because that's more like the global value that we can use to communicate with more persons at the same time. And then the value on dollars, the fiat value, is good. Do you understand? We're not using naira because to mention $10 million in naira is like a trillion or billions. So it's so mesmerizing. Now, the ABC of entrepreneurship. Every time you always need a brand new idea. Let me make this simple. How can you be worth $50 million? Good. If you have 10% of a company that is worth $500 million, you will be worth $50 million. Yes or yes? Yes. If you have 10% of a company that is worth how much? $500 million, you will be worth how much? $50 million. Do you understand? By valuation. So you can write it down, valuation somewhere. Now, you always need a good idea, a new idea. Something has to differentiate what you're selling from what everybody else is selling. Or else, it's just the same thing and your market is shared. Do you get that? Then something else is something that can change the entire global world. Not just any idea. She's selling rice, let me sell rice. She's selling beans, let me sell beans. Oh, they have opened a supermarket, let me open the same thing. That one can never make you big. As a matter of fact, I would love to really drill down so much more on knowledge acquisitions. How many of you here have at least 100 books in your personal library? 100 books. Good, doctor, thank you. That's my doctor, I know him very well. Good. Now, let me tell you something. Calculate your age right now, the number of days that you have lived. Now, in days, 10% of those days is the number of books you must have minimum in your personal library. So if you have lived 20,000 days, you must have at least 2,000 books in your personal library if you are going to get anywhere in life at all. Hello. One day I want you to come back to Ondo City and buy the city. Hello, somebody. Buy what? Buy the city. Yes, you can buy the city if you can employ all of us. And yes, sorry, not all of us, all of them. Do you understand? I'm bigger than. Let's leave that for another day. All right, so let's keep going. Now, I said value creation. You must learn to create value at every time. But you can only create the value that looks like you. If you are a designer, a developer, and you're just thinking that you are the biggest developer in Ondo City, my friend, you are a joker. There are more development groups, developers that are working on quantum computing at the same time, and you are working on HTML, which is not even a language in the first place. Are you kidding me? This is bigger than your purview. Do you understand? I needed to work on global stuffs. Somebody said global stuffs. Something big enough that it can buy your great-grandfathers and bring them out from the grave. Do you understand? Something that everybody in the entire world can pay you so much for. But that requires so much knowledge about the entire world. I often mention this person. His name is Peter J. Daniels. He's one of the richest in Australia. He has at least $4 billion in assets. Now, his worldview, 0 to 10, is 3. How much he knows about the world on a scale of 0 to 10 is how much? 3. 3 of 10. And he has assets worth $4 billion. This man has read over 2,000 biographies. If I ask you, on a scale of 0 to 10, what is your own worldview? Hello, what is your worldview? Off scale, bar, off scale. That shows how much you've read. You've not read. And the very beginning of all of this is you have to read. I'm not even telling you to go and start business immediately. I'm telling you that you have to go back into your room and buy lots of books on entrepreneurship and read them so good, so well, that nothing can stop you. Is that my time? Thank you. How many minutes? Thank you. All right, so that is that about that. Now, people management. You have to be so good in managing people. You can't just talk to anybody anyhow because you don't know who is who. Okay? And then every person that you meet are a potential customer of yours, even your enemy inclusive. Sometimes when you are fundraising, we often say something. You often fundraise from venture capital firms, from family, friends, and fools or foes. That means your enemy must be able to invest in you. You must be so good that you can make your enemy invest in you. Because if your enemy can't invest in you, there's very small chance that you can really be as big as you may want to. Because your enemies may be so much, my dear. Do you understand? Now, people management, the extent to which you can manage people is the extent to which resources can be attracted to you. And let me mention this. Now, your quality of persons will determine the quality of things that can be attracted to you. You will not struggle for anything if you are a quality person. Hello, somebody. The more quality you drive into yourself, the more books you read, the more great tapes you listen to, the more persons you reach out to, you get, and you speak properly to, the more value that comes back to you. Do we get that? So from now on, you must be so good with everybody. That does not mean you should be stupid, but I'm saying be so much of a quality person that you communicate with every person, imagining them to be great persons, not low persons. Do we get that? Now, good. Now, I've said skillfulness in idea management, all of that. Now, ideas, it's great ideas that metamorphosize into income-generating values. Great ideas. And ideas are always built on problems. If you are looking for the next big idea, my dear, go and look for the next big problem. When you solve the next big problem, you will find the next great idea. And that idea can bring you on any seat whatsoever. All right? Now, that will be really all for today. And then one more thing, no matter what you're doing, get this right. If you cannot sell it, it's like you're doing nothing. Distribution is key. Distribution is what? Is key. You must be able to distribute whatever you have created to the vast mass of persons. Travel all around, go places and sell whatever you have created. And as a matter of fact, it's not every time you have to create something new. You can distribute something better than the creator and become richer than the person that created it in the first place. Distribution is a gold mine on its own. Distribution. You can decide to start distributing bottled water and you'll be richer than the company that made the bottled water in the very first place. That is to tell you that you don't have to create it every time. Sometimes what you need to do is distribute. Somebody is in Ondo City making gari very well. Can you package that gari and redistribute such that it's only your gari that is bought in South Africa, that is bought in other West African countries? Do we understand that? Now, that will be all for today. Scaling is important, but don't bother about this yet, because all of this, it's big on its own that you will not get it so much, and then there's no time for that. Now, yes, my name is Ogunranti Moses, and then I'm on Instagram. I answer you every time if you message me on Instagram, I'm going to answer you. Any questions you have, you can ask it on Instagram. And as a matter of fact, I'm doing a giveaway for as many of you that download the Traveler app, iPhone and on Android. I'm going to tell the backend guys to give me the new downloads, and then we'll give raffle to the first 5 persons, first 5 random persons. And tomorrow we're coming here for entrepreneurship education for everyone. We'll bring your gift here. I want to see you here tomorrow because we'll be able to then do bigger things. Thank you so much for the time, and I love you.